Hi, I thought I'd talk about body issues today. Um, so, so people with MS and people with transgender people, genderqueer people, everybody, um, has the capacity to have issues with how they look. Um, Particular to MS, I felt for my body. I didn't like not being in control of my body, not being able to control what my brain was telling my body to do, whether I couldn't walk correctly or I was too tired to like hang with the ladies, um, or whatever it was, just too tired to stay at work for a long enough time to make the money I need to make, whatever. Um, so these can bring up a lot of other questions, other issues, and how do I figure out how to take control of my life when there are these things I can't do. And of course, the answer is to concentrate on what you can do. Of course, that answer is easier said than put into action. um, One of the things I thought of when I was thinking about whether to medically transition, here comes the cat, or to take hormones or to get surgery or and all that stuff, um, was that, and this was before I was diagnosed, I did not want to place too much emphasis on my changing body and the way I looked, and I just didn't want to be, I guess, like my idea of the shallow person that just concentrates on their body. And then, of course, I thought maybe I'd do it before grad school, and then things didn't seem right, and um, but then once the diagnosis came, it's like, well, now I'm forced to concentrate on my body way more than I want to, so I may as well also transition, because that's a way, it's a way to make me happier. And so the two are tied together in this interesting way, and my parents brought up the fact that, like, well, would you ever, transitioned? Are you just transitioning because of the MS? Like, what's going on? Trying to figure out if this was what was really what I wanted. Hands down. And it is. Um, Someone had asked me years ago that I was in a relationship with whether, if I had the chance to, if there were no obstacles, would I rather transition or not transition? And the answer was, of course, I want to transition. Um, and so that was kind of my answer, and I knew right then that, that was the thing that sort of answered that question for me. Um, so now I find it also interesting that, as I have planned my top surgery, um, now these other things are coming up. I mean, with these other feelings about my body, and I know some of them are hormone related, and some of them come from other things. Both MS and the transition kind of caused me to need to go to the gym more than I would normally go. Um, I have to keep, unless I keep exercising my shoulders and my legs, I won't be able to use them. They'll just hurt all the time. So I have to constantly exercise those things, and it's nice. It's kind of nice that I know that this can make me better, and I'm very fortunate to be able to go to a gym to do that. To be privileged enough to afford that, or sort of afford it. And I just really appreciate the hell out of the gym. Um, so when I don't feel as strong, it's kind of a disappointing feeling, but you have to work with what you got. Um, and it's just so important for people with MS to exercise however they can, as much as they can. Um, So the other thing that can make your perception of your body different with trance stuff is the hormones. My dose was recently adjusted, and I felt it a lot. Um, and I tried to just feel it in my head and not let it out too much. It was lowered and actually caused me more frustration, I feel, um, than if maybe they had raised it. So now it's back to normal, or it's higher anyway, and I'm feeling a lot better. But feeling I was able to cry, sort of, almost cry, which is harder to do when you're taking testosterone. And having those feelings again, sort of more emo feelings. I felt more feminine. I could see like my face looked a little different. Is a little bit it's dysphoric and traumatizing and in this really weird subtle way. And it's just it's alarming. But luckily that's over now. Relationships. I think that very much intersects with how we see our bodies. The confidence that we have in ourselves and our relationships and how our relationships are going. Definitely, for me, it definitely affects. I have to work harder to stay awake sometimes, to go out on a date than a normal person. And how much energy I have is really important, to me. And to my partner, to be respectful. I try to have as much, try to be as present as possible. And I can't. I feel like my body's letting me down. And I have a negative sort of, view. And when your body doesn't sort of come to the task as you would like it to, it's easy for other people sort of not to see why that's happening and to sort of see it as something else. See it as like when I'm drinking and I may get off balance because of my MS. People will think oh well, he's drunk. And it's just not a great feeling. Normal people drink. It's a thing people do. It's okay, but it's just those little things that are kind of bothersome sometimes. All things that happily, you can sort of overcome. And I really think the key again is to concentrate on what you can do. And as long as you're doing that, if the people around you, don't respect you, then to hell with them. I definitely feel like since I'm getting top surgery soon, there's more focus on my body, and I'm kind of like looking at it more, and I don't like it. I don't like it. But of course, being in shape or whatever isn't anything to be ashamed of. And it's just interesting how ingrained in my head that like that guy who's like real in shape and stuff, he's not as smart as the other people because he's just a jock. Obviously I don't really believe that, but part of me does. And the other way around too, that skinny guy like must never do sports, and he's probably like smarter than this, smart. So interesting to think about some of my stereotypes, and preconceived notions, whatever. I guess that's it for now. Bye.